Every great defense has a foundation, a player who sets the tone, possession after possession. For the New York Knicks, that player is OG Anunoby. And this season, he hasn't just been good defensively, he's been one of the most impactful defenders in the entire NBA. When you talk about all NBA defense, the conversation usually starts with big men, rim protectors, and shot blockers. But this season, OG Anunoby has shown that being an elite defender isn't just about protecting the rim, it's also about controlling the game. To help break it all down, I spoke with the Dean of Knicks Film School, Jonathan Macri. So, J-Mac, when you watch OG Anunoby, what stands out the most to you about his defensive impact night to night?
I don't think anyone is ever going to have an easy offensive possession if OG Anunoby is the man guarding the ball. And I think, when you're looking at the types of teams that the Knicks are trying to get past to, make the finals or whatever, and the sorts of players that those teams obviously have, just the knowledge that whether it's Jaylen Brown, whether it's Cade Cunningham, anyone else you want to list, that they're going to have their work cut out for them on any given night. So just to have a player like that has that level of impact on the opposing teams, whether it's their best player or second best player, and then just, of course, at the same time, the off-ball impact, if he's, helping off of the weak side corner, you're going to get a genuine rim protect, if somebody penetrates the defense. The combination of a high floor, but also a high ceiling, which I think is something that's rare in the league today.
The first thing that jumps out is impact. When OG is on the floor, the Knicks defense looks different, more connected, more disciplined, more physical.
He's a great defender, and he does a lot of different things that people don't see on that end of the floor for us and for other teams that he played for. But more importantly, his versatility is off the charts.
And that impact isn't just visible, it's felt. He's not just defending his man, he's anchoring the entire system. And then there's who he's guarding. Night after night, OG takes the hardest assignment, the best player, the primary scorer. And more often than not, he makes their job a lot harder. That mentality, that willingness to take on the toughest matchup is what defines elite defenders. So, J-Mac, you just mentioned the word rare. How rare is it to have a defender like OG who can guard multiple positions at an elite level? How rare is that?
I think what makes him rare for me is the fact that you are getting, let's say top 5 perimeter defense with obvious versatility. One of the few, if there's any even other players in the league who could guard the opposing team's point guard and the opposing team's center. But I think what makes OG Anunoby stand out about a lot of his competition is that you're getting the offensive impact at the same time as the defensive impact. But if you look at just the numbers and you look at, all right, well, who's making that two-way impact for the Knicks? Among year-long rotation players, he's the only one on the Knicks roster that is in the 75th percentile or higher for on-off in both defense and offense. So you are getting this top 5 defensive impact on one of the end of the floor, and yet he is, I would argue, pretty comfortably their third most threatening offensive player at the other end.
But this is where OG separates himself. Versatility. He can guard quick guards, physical wings, and hold his own against bigger players. And that flexibility allows the Knicks to do everything defensively, switch, rotate, and recover. But he's not just locking guys down. He's making plays, deflections, steals, plays that turn defense into offense. He doesn't just stop possessions, he ends them. When you look at the all-defense NBA landscape for this season, do you believe that OG has a legitimate shot to make first team this year?
Legitimate shot? Absolutely, because I think you're always looking for who are the guarantees. So right now, again, assuming there's no games played stuff that becomes an issue, we're looking at Wemby, we're looking at Chet Holmgren, and I would actually put Rudy Gobert into that same category. After that, there's 2 spots that I think are wide open for someone else to step in. Now, do I think OG is a guarantee for a first-team spot? No, only because I think there's legitimate competition between him and, in no particular order, Scotty Barnes. Both of the Thompson twins have a great case. You look at Lou Dort on Oklahoma City. And even he's kind of been forgotten about this year, but Dyson Daniels is still doing his thing. Same thing with Evan Mobley former Defensive Player of the Year award winner. I would put OG on the team along with Asar Thompson. If I was a voter for this award or for this team, and obviously I'm not, I do think the offensive impact should be a tiebreaker, because the fact is that Asar Thompson, Lou Dort, those guys are not being asked to do on offense anywhere close to what OG is being asked to do on a nightly basis in terms of how important his three-point shooting is and his dribble drive game. So I think Ty goes to the better offensive player, and I would have OG on my first team.
When you put it all together, the case is hard to ignore. He guards the best players, he anchors one of the league's best defenses, and he does it every single night. The only real question heading into this season was availability. Missed games have impacted his case before, but this season, OG has reached the 65-game minimum to be eligible for the NBA's end-of-season honors. Look, when he's on the floor, there are very few defenders in the association who can do what OG Anunoby does. And that's what this award is supposed to represent: the best defenders at the highest level. And this season, OG Anunoby has been exactly that. If defense is about impact, versatility, and taking on the toughest assignment night after night, then OG Anunoby has a real case to take home his first all-defensive honor since 2023 when he made the second team. And this year, his case is even stronger to be first team all-defense.